Hello and welcome to the video tutorial of optical illusion art by hand. So for these activities, you're going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, probably a black pen eventually, not today, and a ruler, possibly some other drawing tools, like some curved drawing tools. As a reminder, last time we met, we talked about these vocabulary terms. We're going to begin with a pattern of different lines, and as we repeat those over and over and over, we hope to get a rhythm, a visual flow throughout the piece. In fact, that is your whole goal. The goal of your project is using lines to create a visual flow, something that takes your eye up and around and through your whole picture. You will be using the 5 different types of lines here, or some of them at least. Vertical lines, horizontal, diagonal, possibly zigzag, and curved. It's completely up to you and to the design that you hope to create. I had printed off some examples, and I think I would actually start, if your parents are okay with you getting online and doing an image search, I would probably start by looking at my different options. What already exists and what could I do either the same or change it up a little bit. So you could type in optical illusion art or op art, or you could look up the work of the different artists that we introduced last time, okay, and that was Bridget Riley, okay, or Victor Vasarely. And you could get an idea of more of like what did they happen to do. So it's Victor and Bridget. Okay, so what I'm going to do is guide you through a few different ideas doing it by hand. Okay, I have split my piece of paper into 4 quadrants just to give you an idea of how I would start these 4 different ideas. You do not have to do any of these ideas. And when you do choose one or something that you want to do, it needs to be on a full piece of paper. You're not creating 4 different ideas like I am here. Okay, so you're going to have a piece of paper, you're going to have your tools that you need, and you will begin. Okay, this is just me helping, I hope, to get you started. Okay, so for this one, I thought this was great. It had a lot of visual movement. It takes your eye up and around, kind of constantly moving you back toward the center piece. So that's how I started this. I went and did a diagonal square, okay, because I thought that was important. And then I looked and I saw, where did this come from? Well, it started from this corner and it wrapped around to this part of my page. And so that's what I did. And I looked at this corner, where did it go? And I followed it. So here's my last corner right here that I did not do. I can see that this comes up and it goes over to the top right. So I would do the same thing. Okay, after I've got that, then I'm going to start to look at my individual lines. This goes back to the line quality that we were talking about in last lesson, where you have some lines that are thinner and some lines that are thicker. And that's also going to be more interesting to look at for your piece. Okay, and so I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to notice where I have thickness and thinness. And I'm going to start this pattern all the way up my piece. Now after a while, I don't want to get confused by what I'm doing. So I would probably go in and start to shade dark light, dark light, dark light, dark light, dark light. Okay? And you would continue that all the way around. But I would actually look at this and try to see what I'm doing, not just go from memory. This next one has kind of a circle in it. So that's what I did. I just took a coffee mug and I traced a circle. Okay, now this one has diagonal lines that seem to open up to help this pop out. I'm going to do something similar, but instead of diagonals, I'm going to go a little bit easier and do horizontals and verticals. Okay, so I'm going to go across here with a very wide horizontal line. When I hit the circle, I'm going to go up and down. Okay, so it touches this other line. Here, I hit the circle. I'm not going to go up though, I'm going to go down and back up. And that's going to be what causes this big bulging look. Now, all of my lines do not stay the same width. Here, they're going to get skinnier. So I have a really thick line here. I'm going to go thinner here. And thinner yet here. And thinner, thinner, skinnier, skinnier, skinnier. This is going to give me some visual interest, something neat to look at. Okay, here where I've hit my circle, I'm going to again bow down or bow down, and this naturally bows down. I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'll try to work a little quicker so that I do not bore you. Sorry if you're already bored. And I will be going up, and there I am there. Okay, and so forth. And I would get skinnier, skinnier, skinnier as I go. Thinner lines closer together. Already, that has some nice visual flow to it, but it's going to be even cooler now to put in our verticals. And here I'm going to come out, bow it out, and bring it back down. Bow it out. And then thinner line, thinner line. Same thing here. I need a nice fat line here. We probably got a little too fat there. Thinner, thinner, thinner. So you can see here that already without adding any black or white, like filling these in, it's starting to bow out, okay, like the illusion that we wanted it to. And then when you take your black pen and you fill these in every other pattern, so like black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white, checkerboard type of a pattern, it'll really pop out. It's neat to look at. Okay, this last one, or last two rather, this one's very similar to what we just did. You can see thicker lines or more black represented and getting into thinner. And then the opposite is true here. So this one you would use your ruler. I'm going to be using a ruler for anything that is straight. And then as it starts to bow, I can't use the ruler, so I'm just going to very slowly try to create a curve or a dip there. It's very similar to the one we just did, only you only stick with one direction. You don't have to go up. So we're only doing this ellipse in a downward curve. Like that. Okay. This last one you may have done in elementary school. It's kind of fun to do. You again are going to start with your horizontal lines, but as you hit your hand, so your first step is to trace your hand or two of your hands, and then as you trace your hands, as you do your lines, you'll go across and then bump up, ba-dum, ba-dum, and go across and bump up, ba-dum, ba-dum, and bump down to that line. I don't know if you can see this yet or not. There we go. And I'm going to cross, and I bump up, ba-dum, ba-dum. There's some really neat ways to shade this on lines. Some people just kind of go through here and shade that. Okay, on the sides, some people alternate and say if this is black, this is going to be white, and this will be black. Okay, so it's totally up to you. It gets really fun when you come up here to the fingers, and then every time you hit a finger, that's an individual bump. Okay, so the whole goal again is to create lines that appear to move across your page. I hope this is fun for you, and I can't wait to see what it is you have created. Good luck.